that time. It was for the home of the arts club. Waring later on closed the store. It stayed vacant for a while. Then a Piggly Wiggly store came into Baytown, the same location. And they stayed a good while, but it seemed like Piggly Wiggly couldn't make it here. I think between the Grenadiers and the Goldfields, they had a hard pull here in Baytown. Baytown wasn't a very cordial town for a newcomer to come in at that time. It was very hard for a newcomer to get his foot in the door in Baytown to make a living. Later on, the grocery store closed and Morrison's Furniture Company moved in. Morrison stayed there quite a bit, quite a long time, but the business dropped. He kept changing the name of his furniture store. He'd go out of business, assuming that he advertised going out of business, but he still was there, but just changed the name of the store. And he did this several times, and this building is still vacant. Next door was next door to Texas Avenue and Pruitt Street, on the corner of Pruitt and Texas, was the Ed Catharina building. Ed Catharina building. That housed a car dealership by Ernie Dittman, who was selling Dodge and Plymouth cars. That later became Carter's used car lot, and it's recently in the past years changed now under new ownership, but it's still operating as a used car lot. When I came here, it was, of course I came with my father and my wife to San Antonio visiting their parents. When I called her and said, well, we moved to Goose Creek, I think she liked it passed out. But anyway, Baytown, well, Goose Creek at that time was a good business town. It was 25, 30 miles to Houston, and it was a dirt road, and it took you a half a day to get there and a half a day to come back. So you didn't have too much time to shop in Houston at that time. So Baytown was a good town, and it didn't feel the depression as much as some of the inland towns around central Texas where I came from. But we've been here, and we retired in June of '68. I can say that Baytown was real good to me. They let me retire at the age of 55. I pursued my hobby as being an account executive or a stockbroker. And I went back to school at the age of 55, which is hard for a lot of people, to learn the brokerage business. And since then, we had a first American bank built a new building in Baytown on the corner. It was on Gilliard and called Thomas Circle at that time. It's Thomas Circle. And I was on the way to Houston to work, and I stopped by the bank to give them a pot plant and to meet the new stock exchange that opened there. And while I was there, the manager of the stock exchange said, we've been looking for you. He said, we want you to work for us. And I said, well, you know, I work in Houston. And they said, can you wait about 30 minutes? He said that it was a partnership, 3 partners, Thomas, Powers, and Coogan. They were waiting for one of the partners to come in from Waco. And I said, I'll wait. So I called my office in Houston, told them I'd be late. They said, all right. So finally, the man arrived. They got in the corner, and they said, would you like to go to work for us? And I said, well, I don't know. What can you offer me? And, you know, when you live in Baytown at that time, you had to drive into Houston 5 days a week. You had to park a car in the parking lot. You had to eat. You had to take clients out for lunch also. It got pretty expensive. So they said, what would it take to get you? So I told them what it would take. They said, can we go talk it over? And I said, yeah, you can talk it over. So a few minutes later, they come back and said, we'll take you on those conditions. I said, I got one other condition to tell you. I'll be here about 2 weeks, and I'm going to Japan for 3 weeks. I was elected delegate to the Alliance Convention. and I'm all paid up, I gotta go. Said, you can go and we'll pay you for it, because we won't have any equipment for another 4 weeks. So that's how we got started in my new line of business. And I think Baytown's been very good. My wife at the time wants to move. I said she can move anytime she wanted to, but I'm staying here in Baytown.
I cannot let this review of Texas Avenue pass without mentioning one person who has not been mentioned. Also, the kindness of the directors of the Goose Creek Chamber of Commerce, because we housed Norman Hargrave in the area Boy Scouts office. And Norman was really active in community affairs here, and we really had good scouting in Baytown. And we were pleased to have him working in the office with us, so I want you to remember him also.
I want to thank all of our panelists. It was very informative and interesting. And Natalie wanted me to tell you that she did bring some posters and some pictures. Some are from the Baytown Sun file from the library, and there's some pictures of her store, of their store. So be sure and check those before you go. Did Alice Schoen get here?
She is ill.
I'm sorry. She was going to represent the Chamber of Commerce. I'm sorry that she couldn't get here because she grew up in Baytown too, and so is very interested in this series. I hope now that some of you who can add some more information and names will come up and talk about things that you remember. Mary, did you tell me that you had somebody from Texas Avenue with you?
Odina.
Would you like to come up and tell us a little bit?
Well, I can tell you, Odina was on Texas Avenue every day, because I used to have coffee with her all the time.
She was insurance.
She was in the front building upstairs, well, in back first, weren't you, right in back downstairs, and then you went upstairs. Odina was a great help. She came and helped review with me, be sure that I didn't make a whole lot of mistakes.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up and add something to this? Any questions of our panelists before we close?
Well, I remember an ice cream parlor that was special to me at the corner of Texas and Commerce. And I was wondering what Max was going to call that building. I can't remember the name of the ice cream parlor. It was Reddy's. Reddy's ice cream store.
Our mayor, Edmund Hunko, worked there at that time.
But that's where the young people used to meet after school.
Redding's ice cream store.
Reddy's.
That was the Clark Smith building. No, it wasn't Phoenix. Phoenix is way back.
Oh, yeah, it's
Phoenix. But there was another ice cream store on the other side too, wasn't it?
Board is the wrong place.
Was it?
Sandy Center Creamery had one down there.
Sandy Center Creamery was down by the jail, where the old jail.
I don't think we know yet.
Any more questions? Well, if not, we'll say goodnight. But first, let me...
Can I say something?
Sure.
When Audrey first called me, I was really reluctant because I just really didn't think that I thought it would take a lot of work. I do want to say one thing. I came to the library and I was amazed at the material that we have here, and I understand that Deacon Jones was instrumental in setting up that Baytown file. But we are so fortunate to have such a wonderful library, and I hope that all of you, when you have a lot of time, can come down. I just got fascinated by reading. I wish that I would have had a lot more time, but of course, Audrey said that we only had about 10 minutes. And I didn't know whether that meant 5 minutes for me and 5 minutes for Max. So, but I can say that it was just most interesting to delve into all this material and pictures and lore. And I think we ought to spread the word around that our library is just really fully equipped about Baytown.
Well, we appreciate those kind of words. Thank you. I'd like to invite everybody back next month on May 20th.